what's going on, guys? What's going on? Hope all is well. Love and light, everyone. Uh, just reading some of the comments here, man. Rick James, shout out to Rick James. Shout out to Young Gabby. Um, Rick James said, "You finally added thumbnails." I do add thumbnails. Sometimes, guys, I get a little lazy. I'm not even gonna hold you. I do. I do. I got to do better though. I got to do better. But yeah, so I was on previously. I've had about 3 or 4 malfunctions, man. When I go on live, people decided they want to call me. They decided they want to call me and stuff, So that was the reason why my video went blank in the mix of me doing my live. But thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. Today we're just going to talk about local living in Dominican Republic. Yes, local living in DR. I've been traveling DR for quite some time, and this will be the longest that I will be staying in DR. You know, do I get bored? No, I never get bored, but I find myself kind of doing the same things, especially if I'm staying there. 2 weeks at a time. I do move around to other cities, but this time around, I kind of want to step outside of the box. Think, and this is advice that I have been giving you guys. For those of you guys who travel to DR and y'all staying there 2, 3 weeks at a time, you should be spreading out your time and visiting other cities. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really have an itinerary yet. My main focus first is getting things situated with the house, paying for my materials, and paying for my materials and things. And then once I'm done, with the house, then it's time for me to kind of enjoy. So that will be the first thing that I'm going to take care of when I get down. And I got a lot of content coming for you guys. I know I've been out of the loop for a couple of weeks. Actually, I actually did a live with Young Gabby. Yeah, I did a live with him. I was on his platform. I'm gonna actually post that live that I did with Young Gabby. I'm gonna post that live that I did with him. I was on his platform. He on as a guest. So if you guys want to check that out, I'm gonna post it in the community section so you guys can check it out. Yeah. But I'm pretty much, ready to go. I'm pretty much ready to go. I'm down, I think it's like less than 2 weeks, like 10 days before I touch down to DR. So I'm pretty much preparing myself. Um, as you all know, I'm going to be moving into another apartment. Not that there was anything wrong with the apartment that I'm staying in now. It's just that the apartment that I'm going to be renting, the newer one, it's closer to the center city. It's closer to the center city. It's less than what I'm paying now. Flexi Mundo, what's going on, Flex? Yo, Flex, I had, bro, all of those lives that I did, I had to delete all of those lives. And then when you came on while you was calling me, my live just went completely blank. It went completely blank. So I was a little annoyed. My bad, bro. I was just a little frustrated. You know what I mean? But nothing against you. Yeah, it happens. It do. Um, so yeah, you guys, y'all stay tuned for a lot of content. I'm gonna be doing, like I said, some different content. I mean, of course, I'm gonna be showcasing properties and land and things of that nature. But I'm going to be interviewing some people, a few people who are one of the interviewers that I'm going to interview. This brother has been living in DR for as long as I've been traveling there. Yeah. He's part of the expat community in the Dominican Republic. He's actually one of the admins for one of the expat groups in DR. So I'm going to be interviewing him, getting his perspective on DR, how long he's been living there and all the things that he has done to pretty much, keep that passive income flowing for him. He has managed to he's running 2 Airbnbs. He opened up a little lounge with a pool table. I seen it on the WhatsApp story because he's promoting it. So I did tell him that when I touch down, I'm gonna make it my business to come and patronize, and then also do an interview with him. I'm also going to interview another expat. This is an African American woman who owns a ice cream parlor and a bike shop. She rents out motos. This kind. Interviewing these people, guys, is going to help you to kind of brainstorm what businesses or what businesses you would like to or should tap in if you plan on making those kind of investments in Dominican Republic. I think it's always good to get other people's perspective opposed to mine. I always say it. My experience could be different from somebody else's, so it's always good to get multiple people on the platform to give their experience, whether it be purchasing a home, opening up a business, relationships, things of those nature, things of that nature. So yeah, those are the kind of things that you guys could expect when I touch down. I'll be down April 1st through probably the 28th or 29th. Um, I normally fly into um, Puerto Plata. So I'm this time I'm going to be flying into Santiago. So guys, my man, hope all is well. What's today's topic? Today's topic, bro, is just local living in Dominican Republic, bro. It's pretty much an open discussion, and I'm just talking about some of the things that you guys could expect when I touch down in April. Now, I'm flying into Santiago, so I'm trying to figure out if for those of you guys who fly into Santiago and travel from Santiago to Puerto Plata, what is the going price? What is the going price if I need to hop into a cab? I mean, I do plan on renting a car, but I'm renting a car in Puerto Plata, so I'm trying to figure it out whether or not it'd be feasible for the car rental people to meet me in Santiago, or should I just once I get out of Santiago Airport, jump on the Carib tour bus and head to Puerto Plata. I want to get to Puerto Plata as fast as I can. So I probably Carib tour bus is going to be out of the question for me. Oh, Magulian, you okay? Nice, me too. April 2nd. Magulian, I know you said you got a lot going on. I like to hook up with you when you out there, man. And actually, but now is one of the places that I'd like to visit. There's a few places in Banal. I know they have a specific place where they dance and do a lot of bachata. I've been watching it on TikTok and uh, Instagram. It's a specific place I think of now where they have all these dance competitions, bachata. Now I always say, if you really want to experience Dominican culture, it's best you go outside of the tourist areas because you're really going to get, the Dominican vibe. You're definitely going to get a Dominican vibe. Like places like I'm a beach bum. I say it all the time. I could get up early in the morning, pack my cooler, pack everything I need. I mean, when I go to the beach, guys, I go prepared. I'm talking about my Bluetooth speaker, um, sunscreen, food, drinks, my headphones. I mean, I made sure I even bring a portable, uh, what do they call it? Not satellite, but a portable solar charger for your cell phone. Because I could spend 7, 8 hours at the beach, man, all day, without a doubt. And these are one of the things that I need. I want to get out of doing opposed to being at the beach all day. Because I know for a lot of us, that shit tends to get boring after a while. I mean, not for me, you know what I'm saying? But I always advise for those who are in Puerto Plata, Sosua, Cabarete, the North Coast has a lot. I mean, guys, they have a lot of rivers. Rio Jamal, it is on the North Coast. And then you got a lot of small rivers along the North Coast, in Cabarete and Maimon. And I love the rivers, man. I do. I do. I find that the river water is a little bit colder opposed to the ocean water. But the thing about the rivers, man, if you go, especially if you're going like on the weekends, Saturdays and Sundays, you'll find it that a lot of locals go to the rivers. They make sancocho, they barbecue. You got the big speakers. My first experience of experiencing that is when I was in Sosua. For those of you guys who, if you haven't been to that river in Sosua, I forgot what street is down, but it's just before you pass once you pass Montellano. I don't know if that's the pronunciation, but once you pass that, and entering into Sosua, you make that first right, and it'll take you down to that river. But my first experience, I'm talking about back in 2018. Yeah, 2018 is my first time going to the river in Sosua. Man, when I tell y'all it was a movie, it was a movie. I could, for one, it was flooded with Dominicans. I mean, flooded with locals. And everybody was barbecuing and making. They had like the big drums where they was making sancocho and the big drums. I mean, like I was in awe because I had never seen nothing like it. And I think at that moment, it was just different for me. Living in New York, when you see a whole bunch of minorities together, something is always bound to pop off before the end of the night. It wasn't that kind of vibe at the river, man. Everybody was enjoying themselves, no fights. Aside of the girl that got really drunk, she got so drunk and passed out, and the ambulance had to come in, and that shit was crazy because it was hard for them to get inside because it was flooded with people. But yeah, experiencing that alone was just like, oh man, I could see myself, living here full time. Yeah. So I always, I mean, always, I prefer honestly to go to the rivers on the weekends opposed to going to the beaches. Because as y'all know, beaches, especially Sosua Beach, Saturday and Sunday, you could forget about it. You could forget about it. If you don't get there around, like 9, 10, if you get there after 12 o'clock on a Saturday and Sunday, you could forget about it. Especially if you're one of those people that's going by yourself or you and a friend. Nah, if you're gonna do that, the beach vibe on a Saturday and Sunday in Sosua, you need to get there early and go with multiple people. That way, when half of y'all get in the water, there's somebody sitting around watching your shit. Cause your stuff will get clipped at that beach on the weekend because it just be so many people, a lot of people. Yeah. So yeah, guys. I mean, I'm trying to think of other things that I'm gonna be doing. I'm going to do an updated version, an updated list of the price of material costs. I'm talking about the price of nails, the price of cement, the price of sand, all these things you guys need to know for those of you guys who are looking to build. Okay, y'all gonna meet my new builder. Y'all gonna meet my lawyer again. For those of you guys who are looking for a lawyer that speaks English, he speaks English, he speaks French, he speaks German. So I'm going to be doing an interview with him as well. I'm also going to be interviewing some single ladies. I'm not talking about the choppy type. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, decent women who's looking for something serious. You know what I mean? I have those honeys that cooked for you on the beach last time was cute. Oh yeah, the you talking about in and when I was in Rio Hamal, Magulian, if you're talking about Rio Hamal, yeah. And yo, I will say, out of all the beaches, out of all the rivers that I have been to, man, Rio Hamal, interview the Choppy Choppy also. You want me to interview the Choppy Choppy? I just, see, the only thing about that is that I don't want to catch a whole lot of flack. I don't want to feel like I'm soliciting sex. You know what I'm saying? And that's not what J Day's about. I'm genuinely trying to, because I got a lot of brothers that are looking for good women, including myself. Even though I have one, I got one. I got one. Things is just a little shaky right now, but we'll get through it. This too shall pass. But yeah, interviewing Choppies. Maybe I'll do it. I'll do it. Maybe for the entertainment, but I'm not looking to solicit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not looking to do that. But yep, Rio Hamal. Yeah. I tell the next time, and maybe I just may do that this time around. Only because I enjoy that river so much. And for those of you guys who haven't been to Rio Hamal, check out one of the videos I posted out. You'll see me at Rio Hamal. But I think the next time, and this is just my advice, if you are one of those people that's looking to travel outside of like the North Coast and go to, let's just say, Rio Hamal or even Playa Ensenada, I would say go for the weekend. Rent you an Airbnb, and I think that's what I'm going to do this time around, because the last thing that I want to do after being at the river is driving all the way back. Not to say that it's a problem, but I enjoy myself so much, I want to go back the next day. You see what I'm saying? So I always say, like, if you're going to visit a place like Playa Ensenada, Rio Hamal, or even Luperon, go for the weekend. The Airbnbs out there inexpensive. You can find something, no less than like $40 a night, decent. And in that way, there's no rush to get back, to get back to where you're going. So I'm probably going to end up doing that this time around, spending a weekend in one of these places. Have I decided yet? The last time I was there, one, Mom's got sick and I didn't have enough time to go to Rio Hamal. And then another thing was, once January, February hit, that river water be hitting different, guys. that river water be hitting real different. We as foreigners, we can't take that shit. But the Dominicans, the locals, they'll go in it. Not me. Nah. That water be cold. I'm talking about cold. Yeah. G Styles, what's going on, bro? Prince, what's good, Brody? What's going on, guys? Playa Flex Muller says Playa Ensenada is my home, bro. I love it out there. River water shrinkage, yeah, but I didn't experience that in Rio Hamal. That river it's a big river, man. For those of you guys who haven't been there, I highly suggest you go and check it out. I highly suggest. And one thing I will say, if you're gonna go there, because it's a ritual now for me. When I go, I make sure whatever food that I'm gonna have cooked, I make sure that I have it already cooked and pre-seasoned and all of that. Because a lot of the people there that work there, they work at the stores, and as you coming in, they waving you down. I don't know if you guys been on a bus, the Carib bus going towards Santo Domingo, but for those of you who do have been, you know what I'm talking about. Once you pass this certain area, it's like a stall of people selling pork, and they waving you down to come to their store because it's a lot of them, a lot of vendors selling pork and stuff. So it's almost the same concept when you're going into Rio Hamal. Once you enter in, you got different stores where people will cook for you, so they're waving you down to come to their store. So I always say, make sure you have everything you need: cups, paper plates, spoons, knives, everything that you need to have for an outing. Otherwise, they're gonna charge you to go to the store. They're gonna charge you for the motor concho to go to the store. And another thing, because the first time I went, they got me. I asked them the price after everything was all said and done, and they tried to charge me. They didn't try, they did. And I'm not gonna argue. It was my fault, and this is why I tell people, make sure you get the price before they start cooking. Okay? Make sure you get the price before they start cooking. Otherwise, they're gonna pull the okie doke on you. And mind you, I was with a local, and they still got me. But it is what it is. So I mean, the most you'll pay, just so you guys know, the most you'll pay to have somebody prepare a meal for you and Playa Ensenada, we're talking about, you shouldn't pay no more than $40. No more than $40. Okay, just so you know. All right. And as I said, guys, please make sure you have everything you need. That way you don't got to use them to send a motor concho and all of that. And I always say, just to be on the safe side, bring a local. Bring a local. That way they can do all the negotiations and all of that stuff for you. So that was pretty much my experience at Rio Hamal. The local people that live there, they're very, very nice. You know what I'm saying? Laid back, cool, tranquilo. Another thing I will say is that when you go there, they have like different sections where you sit and eat and overlooking the Rio. Once you get in that water, you got to keep a close eye on your stuff, especially when it's packed on the weekends. Because I've experienced that. I'm sitting there. I'm not in the water, but we by the store where the people was cooking our food, and these two locals was in our section. Their backs were facing us, but I'm watching them the whole time because I got my shit sitting out on the table. But I'm watching them, and they was trying to clip us. They was trying to clip us. They were being real slick. They didn't know that we was watching them because they didn't know whose section they was in, but they were in our section, and they leaning over the balcony watching the people in the river, and scheming on trying to steal whatever we had in our area. So I always tell you guys, just be very, very mindful of that. And if you are going to the beach, and try to take as less valuables with you as possible to avoid, you losing your stuff or somebody clipping you, because it happens all the time. Happens all the time, and even with like traveling around, guys, I make this a rule of thumb. I never travel with my passport. I never do. I always take a copy of it. I always have a paper copy, and I always have a picture of it in my phone. I never travel with my passport. They advise it, but I don't feel comfortable because God forbid you lose that, you're shit out of luck. You know what I'm saying? So be mindful of that. Yeah. Trying to think what else. And oh yeah, even in Playa Ensenada, my experience there, because every time I go to these places, I always make videos, and I really like to give you guys my perspective on these places. When you go into local spots, because Rio Jamal is a local spot, you don't really find too many tourists there. Playa Ensenada is a local spot, not too many tourists. Also Luperon, Fricolandia, for those of you guys who have never been there. When we went to Playa Ensenada, you will be haggled by some of the locals that work along the beach. And what ends up happening is that, this is why I always say, please guys, bring a local, because they just, I can't knock the hustle. I can't knock it. But at the same time, you're not going to hustle me if I already know what's going on. You see what I'm saying? So basically what a lot of the locals do at Playa Ensenada, they're selling you fish, they're selling you shrimp. And what they'll do is they'll sell you fish. But when I went with my boys, I'm like, yo, y'all don't have nothing smaller than this. They sell you the biggest fish that they have. Don't go there with the intent on you getting a medium-sized fish, because it's not going to happen. Okay, it's not going to happen. So they sell you the biggest fish, and they will upsell you if you don't have anybody locally there with you to help you. So I always say, make sure you have somebody to do all the money transactions and handle all of that. Otherwise, you are going to get got. But I said that the next time I go, because next time I go, I plan on spending a weekend out there. I plan on spending a weekend. I'm gonna be there for a month, guys. So I want to spread out my time a little bit. Jumping on a local bus, and I tell y'all that too. Don't be afraid to step outside of the box. You can get on Carib tours, and it'll take you pretty much everywhere you want to go in Dominican Republic. $9-10 to get on a bus and go. I've left from Puerto Plata to Samaná, took the local bus. Nice experience, man. Beautiful scenery. And you never know who you're gonna meet on that bus, just to say the least. You might meet future wifey on the bus. I've had some experiences, to say the least. Yeah. Just gonna answer some of these questions. Rio Sonata is freezing cold. G Styles, Rio Sonata? I never been there, bro. Where is Rio Sonata located? And for those of you guys that's on, please be sure to hit the like, share, and subscribe. If you guys have places that you suggest that I visit while I'm down there, man, by all means, tell me. I would love to go, to another city and visit visit different rivers and stuff like that. I like nature. I like beautiful sceneries and stuff like that, man. That is like my happy place, man. It's my happy place, And I always say, guys, we got to step outside the box and do other things that we, opposed to what we're accustomed to doing. Tosua, Chicas. It's like time to see something different, man. Yeah. And I have taken road trips. I drove from the furthest I have drove myself was from Puerto Plata to Santo Domingo, and I got there in about 3 hours. This is when the roads they was just fixing the roads leaving out of Puerto Plata to Santo Domingo. Now, getting there now is a straight one. You ain't even the roads are smooth now. Oh yeah. So if you one of those adventurous people like myself, I say, yo, rent a car and just, research other cities in Dominican Republic, see what those cities have to offer, make connections before you get there. That way you have somebody locally to show you around. And I'll be honest with you, when you visit the smaller cities, you're more like a celebrity. People will treat you like you're royalty only because they're just excited to have, a foreigner visiting their city. And most people that visit the smaller cities are people who have left DR and just coming back to visit, but to see somebody outside of that, like what's that city that I visited? It's a beautiful city, man. Beautiful city. If you're looking to go to a city where it's nice and clean and if you're looking for peace and tranquility, I say go and check out San Francisco de Margarita. And that's leaving out of Puerto Plata, going towards Santo Domingo. Beautiful city, man. Beautiful city. San Francisco de Margarita that city is known for producing cacao. They have a lot of cacao being produced out of San Francisco de Margarita. Yeah. If you're one of those people that's into the party scene and looking to party and turn up, I wouldn't say go there. But if you're looking a clean city, good restaurants, nice people, Dominican vibe, a local vibe, I definitely say check out San Francisco de Margarita for sure. Magulian, so true. Even at resorts, they swipe any valuables out in the open. Yeah, man. Yeah, this is why, when I go, especially when I'm going alone, because it's a lot of times I go places by myself, and not because I ain't got nobody to go with. I'm free spirited. I like to travel and do a lot of things dolo because there's no stipulations in what I can do and what I can't do. When you're traveling with multiple groups of people, that's different personalities you got to deal with. You got people, vibe killers, you know what I'm saying? So I just like to get up and just go and do my own thing. Yeah. But yeah, you definitely have to be careful when it comes to, safeguarding your possessions on the beach, man. Yeah, I go bare minimal. Like I'll bring my food, I'll bring my Bluetooth speaker. And if I'm going by myself, I usually have my back, facing the water and my front watching my area. And I always pick a spot, especially just so you guys, this is just my advice. If you're going by yourself, try to pick a beach in a lounge chair and an umbrella as close to the water as possible so you can keep an eye on your stuff. Yeah. That's the popular river that's in Puerto Plata in a town called Yasica. It's located off the curving highway between Puerto Plata and Santiago. Huh. Okay, G-Style. So you don't put me on to something new, man. I'm going to have to check that spot out when I go. That's the popular river that's in Puerto Plata in a town called Yasica. I've never heard of that place, bro. Rio Senado. I'm going to have to take a screenshot of that real quick. Let me see. Yeah, I'm going to have to take a that. Yeah, because I've never heard of that place. I appreciate that, G-Styles. Yeah. And this is what we should be doing. Giving each other that interchange of information so that when we go into visiting the we got other places to check out. Because I know me, I get tired of doing the same routine. I do. I get tired of just doing the same routine, but what I will do this time around, because most of the content that I put out is mainly, showcasing properties and stuff. But this time around, I'm gonna show you guys what I do on a day-to-day basis. When I'm in DR. Mainly, I'll tell you in a nutshell. During the week, I'm usually up at 6:30 in the morning. I'm usually up early in the morning. I usually go to the gym for an hour 15 minutes, workout. After I'm done at the gym, I go to the beach. I take a nice swim, relax myself for about an hour. Then I go back to my Airbnb and I start my day. So that's pretty much what I do Monday through Friday. Now, when the weekends come, it's time to turn up and enjoy myself. But yeah, that's pretty much my lifestyle. And a lot of us, when we moving down there, it's time for those of you who are looking to make that transition. You have to start putting yourself in local mode instead of vacation mode, and that's another thing. And I say it all the time. It's a big challenge for me, traveling there and getting myself out of the vacation mindset. You know what I'm saying? Salute to JD and quality, meaningful content. Uncle Reek, I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you. Yeah, I'm trying to get myself out of the whole mindset of traveling there as a vacationer opposed to living there as a local. So these are some of the things that I'm going to be doing in vlogging. How much things cost, shopping as a local opposed to shopping as an expat. Staying out of expat places. I'm not to say that there's anything wrong with it, but if you're living there at full time, the idea is to be shopping like the local shop. Going to the local butchers, going to the local farmers. That's producing, that's selling produce. You know what I'm saying? These are the kind of things that we should be doing. Because if my thing is, if a local Dominican can live off of $500 a month, then why can't we? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's going to be a stretch, but y'all know what I'm saying. Y'all get the idea. Like, there's no reason why we should be spending over $1,200 a month if we don't have to. There's no reason for it. So these are some of the things that I'm going to be doing. Showing you guys how much things cost, down to milk and eggs and cheese and all the things that I eat and I consume on a daily. I think that you guys should know this for those little people that are looking to move out there permanently. It kind of give you an idea of what your budget needs to look like. I'm going to do some vlogs on how much I spend on a daily basis. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You know what I mean? Can I only spend $20 in a day? Yeah, it can happen. I mean, you could definitely spend less than $20 a day in Dominican Republic, but you got to be shopping at the local Camados and the local cafeterias. You know what I mean? And staying out of the expat restaurants and the more expensive restaurants and the restaurants on the Malecon. Those places you're going to spend a lot more money on. You know what I'm saying? So these are the kind of things that we should be doing when we're in Dominican Republic. Trying to save as much money as we can now. Hey, if you're one of those people that got it like that and money ain't a thing for you, hey, hats off to you, salute. But I'm just talking about for me. I have to think realistically. When I'm down there, I'm going to be living on a fixed income, and I don't want to be one of those people that can't afford to buy this because I'm on a fixed income. You know what I'm saying? So knowing that I'm on a fixed income, I'm setting myself up now so that when I do get down there, I have multiple streams of income coming in. You know what I mean? If you're one of those people that don't mind living on a fixed income, that's all you. Everybody's lifestyle is different. Everybody's lifestyle is different, so you have to live according to your means, your means. I know what my means are, and I know what I want, and I know what kind of lifestyle that I want to live. So this is why I'm setting myself up so that I can live the kind of lifestyle that I desire to live. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah, these are some of the things that you guys should be thinking about, and brainstorming before you start making that transition. I got a lot of you guys reaching out to me, OJ, how much does it cost for a single person to live? Like, I can't, I've asked multiple of my interviewees that have come on the platform, and everybody's got their own opinion on how much a single person could live off of. It ultimately depends on the kind of lifestyle you want to live. If you're one of those people that want to be out turning up all every weekend, you might need to add an extra $250 to $300 to your monthly budget. You know, yeah. So these are the kind of things that you should be thinking about, and then also just planning things out. You can't go wrong with planning. You can't go wrong with that. I'm a frugal spender. You guys know when I started, vlogging and coming to DR, I've stayed at expensive Airbnbs and I've stayed at shabby Airbnbs. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not here to impress anybody. I'm not. What you see is what you get, you know, and what you see is the reality. I'm not one to put all the good out and don't show, the downside of things. You see what I'm saying? I have been very transparent with you guys from the gate, So yeah, you gotta plan things ahead so that when you get down here, you don't be one of those people that turning around and coming back where you came from, man. That's the last thing you want to do. And also connecting. My circle of support system in DR is big, man. I will say it's a lot of us in on the North Coast. I will say it's a lot of us on the North Coast. Where you can connect with people and meet up. There's so many different social gatherings that the expats have. You'd be surprised. And I'm not just talking about a specific group of people. We are all integrated out there, man. White, black, Haitian, Puerto Rican. It is a plethora of expats from all different nations and tongues that live in Dominican Republic. I have even had, people from Africa have reached out to me, people from Germany, people from countries you wouldn't think about, and I'm just like, wow, what made them, decide to go to DR? But DR has been promoted so much over the I say when I started traveling since 2016 to now, I have seen the movement change. I've seen it change, and if you're one of those people that's looking to make an investment, I always say, man, don't bat an eye. Before you bat the eye, though, make sure you do your research in terms of making sure the property has the rightful owner, the people who say they own it, making sure that the titles are clean, the Slendays are clean, making sure all of that is clean. But once it is, and you see something for a good price, just jump on it. Jump on it because, the kind of return that you're going to see a quick return, especially if it's in like a community, a gated, even though y'all know I stay shy away from those gated communities only because I'm just like, why am I going to, invest money into a community where I'm paying HOA fees? Why am I doing that? I can mow my own damn lawn, and if I don't feel like mowing it, I can hire somebody to do it. But I just don't see, okay, and some people say, oh, they're doing it for the safety. The North Coast, I find it to be very, very, very safe. And I no matter where you go, whatever you put out is what you're going to get back. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really find, the Puerto Plata, the North Coast to be unsafe. Because if I did feel that way, I wouldn't have, built my house up in the mountains in the Campo. Wouldn't have done it, I always say if you're looking to build in a Dominican community, you have to get out in the community, make a name for yourself, talk to the people, be an attribute to that community because that's, ultimately how you're going to gain the respect of the people. I have made connections with the community mayor. I forget what they call them in Spanish, but in every community, they have a community organizer who, whatever's needed in that community. For an example, if roads needs to be fixed, they're the ones that go to the government to fight to have these kind of things done in their community. So every community has one person that's delegated to, I guess they call them community organizers, mayors, or whatever. But I have made those kind of connections in my community so that when I do get there, you know, they know who I am. I won't have any problems. And if you're gonna be living in a Dominican neighborhood, you gotta be living modest, man. Modest. You don't want to live in a community where you're drawing so much attention on yourself. You see what I'm saying? Um, and when I do go down, I plan on doing. I don't know what I want to do, but I want to do something for the community. Just the people on my block, just the people on my block, the kids and mothers, fathers, just on my block. I plan on doing something, small, maybe hamburgers, hot dogs, or something like that. Maybe some little activities or something. Yeah, you jump on that piece of property next to your crib yet? Magulian, I'm working on that. This is what I'm going down there for. I'm going down there, to take care of all of that because the man has been patiently waiting for me to buy it. And I do have a picture of what I plan on doing for my next project. I already have, because that's another thing, guys. When I'm done with this house, my plan is to build another project, to do another project up there. I put a model out on the community section. So if you guys want to see what kind of project I planned on doing next, it's a picture of it. It's not going to be a big project. I'm going to do, because I think now, as we get older, I always say, less is more. The quality of life we want to have, we want to be as low maintenance as possible as we get older. So I find it that, it's a big tiny movement going on. Y'all all know that. Like the tiny house movement is big. So that's the vision that I have up there where I live, where my house is being built. Since the plot that I'm buying from the old man is a small plot, I plan on doing a tiny home. A tiny home. And where I got the idea from is from one of the Airbnbs that I stayed at couple of months back, not this past trip, but a previous trip. I stayed at this Airbnb a few times, and the way the house was designed, it was designed in a way where, the house was like on posts, like big posts, and then you could drive the car under the home, and then they had a stairs where you walk up, So since it's a small plot, I said, you know what, I'm going to use that same concept for the second project. And my builder told me, because I asked him, I said, well, I'm looking to do no less than like a 68 square meter home. And that's that. The 68 square meter home is big enough for a 2-bedroom and 2 bathrooms. Okay. So I don't want to go no bigger than that. And I showed him the model of what I wanted to do. And he told me, he says, a project like that, it'll cost you no more than $30,000. I said, no, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. He said, no. That project will cost you no more than 30 grand to do. So I said, you know what? Well, if that's the case, we're going to do it once the house is done. So, yeah, I'm excited. I have a lot in store for you guys. This time around, you guys will have the opportunity, as I said, to meet my new builder. And, I've always fought to get the best prices for you guys. During my journey, man, like I said, I say it all the time. I have taken losses so that you guys don't have to. And yeah, I'm transparent about my mishaps when it comes to the construction, only because I want y'all to know that it's not as easy as you think if you don't have the right people and the connections to help you. If you're one of those people, and I get it, we all want to save a dollar, but save it. He said it the best. Shout out to Bo Rakes. Bo Rakes said it in one of my past videos. He said, sometimes saving you money, trying to save money, you end up spending more. You end up spending more trying to save. And I get it. A lot of us want to hire our own crews and pay our day laborers daily, and hire somebody to manage, and trying to save as much money as you can. And if you're one of those people, I'm just going to tell you this, and take it from somebody who's going through it, who's been through it, who's lived it, breathed it, and take it from me. If you're not one of the people, if you're not a person that's knowledgeable of construction, you can be sitting there watching everything, and they still be getting over on you. You understand what I'm saying? So just keep that in mind. It's always important for you to have a lawyer there to protect you, making sure you sign contracts. In the event something happens, you have somebody you can go after. You know what I mean? And even signing the contract, sometimes, guys, that's not even a secure. It's not even secure, because let's just say you hire a maestro to do a construction for you. If that maestro ain't got nothing, no assets, what are you getting? What are you taking him to court for? You're just spending lawyer fees for nothing. The most that could happen to that maestro is his ass ends up going to jail. But are you going to recoup any of that money that you spent out? More than likely, no. And these are some of the things that you guys need to think about, because God forbid something happens to your house, contract signed and all. If it's not a reputable or a huge construction company where they got money that they're sitting on, if it's not a huge construction company, you might need to rethink that. That's all I'm saying. I'm not here to discourage anybody. I promise you I'm not. But I'm just telling you guys the reality of it and what can happen. The good, the bad, and the ugly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's what it is, man. It's 12 of you guys on. Be sure to hit the like, share, and subscribe for you guys that's on and watching me now. I appreciate all the love and support, guys. And if there are any of you guys that's going to be down for the month, be down here for the month of April. Shout me out. Let's hook up. I usually like to on the weekends, man. I'm all for hooking up, going to the beach. Let's get some beers. Let's get some food. And let's just that's how I am, man. Even when I'm down there full time, I have a lot of things that I want to do. I like to bring more of the expat communities together. I like to set up a safe place. Something along the lines of being like a community center for expats, a place where they can go to get informative information, whether it be just, needing a lawyer, and then having expat socials once a month where everybody's connecting and getting together and, exchanging information. These are the kind of things that I want to implement in Puerto Plata once I'm down there full time, and also bringing more of the locals and the foreigners together, helping to bridge everyone together, man. I think it's very, very important, and most importantly, learning the language. Learning the language, I think, is the key, and I tell you guys that all the time. How you investing in a country, and you're not taking the initiative or effort to learn the language. I mean, I know the basics of Spanish. I took Spanish in college. I'm not going to say I'm fluent. I'm not going to say that because I'm not. But I know enough to get by. Don't get me wrong. And I can hold up. Well, one thing I can do, my greedy ass can go to a restaurant and order everything that I want in Spanish. Food, I got the food down on pack. I got that. I can order my meal with no problem, But now it's time to step outside of food. The basics. How are you? Where are you going? And I know a lot of basic stuff, but I think what it is, learning every day, teaching yourself how to speak, whether it be a sentence. You learn every day, and listening to music and watching TV. All these things will help you learn the language, and then eventually, before you know it, you'll be speaking fluently. Yeah. I'll try to reach out, Maguli. I'll try to reach out. We're planning to renew our vows, so we're gonna be all over the place and mother-in-law's 90th birthday party. Yeah, bro, you did tell me that. I know you got a lot going on this trip around, so I'm not expecting, to meet up with you this time around. But I'll be down there a few times this year. So if I don't catch you this time around, um, after April, May, I'll probably be heading down. Maybe like the beginning of August. It won't be too long, but it'll probably be for about a week or so. Um, Only because, guys, I'm trying to finish up my house before. Ideally, I like to have everything done by September, but I'm gonna say January. Um, I'm gonna say January. Yeah, and also, guys, just stay tuned. Like I said, I'm gonna be talking about the price of windows, the price of bars, the price of nails, price of cement, the price of everything that you need to construct a home. Okay, because the last updated video that I did was almost shit. I'd say about maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago when I first got started. So prices have definitely changed from then to now, for sure. Yeah, so you guys can definitely expect that. And if there's anything that you guys want to see while I'm down there, please put it in the comment section, and I'll try to make it happen for you guys. All right. So with that being said, man, I appreciate all the love and support, guys. Y'all stay tuned for more content. I got a lot in store for you guys. I got a lot in store. I promise you that. So you guys can rest assured you'll be seeing a lot of content for the month of April. All right. Yeah. Me too. The end of August. All right. Good, Magulian. So let's try to Magulian. Where are you from? I'm just curious. What state you from, bro? Um, yeah, so I'm gonna try to make it down. I'm not gonna try. I can. I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna make it happen because now, that's another thing, guys. Once I get the house up and running, now it's time for me to hire somebody to stay there. Because that's another thing. Whether you in a gated community, no matter where you purchase your home should never be left unoccupied for not even a week at a time. You understand? Your house should never be unoccupied. So, once my house is all said and done, at that point, I'm going to have my lawyer find somebody. We sign a contract, and in the contract it have all the stipulations of what I expect and what I don't expect. And then, yeah, I'll have somebody staying at my house, and I'll be paying them on a weekly or however they do it down there. But yeah, that's the idea. You make sure you have somebody always occupying your home to avoid, people breaking into your shit, because it's happened. It's happened to one of my viewers. He made it on one of the big YouTubers channel. Me and him made it on that channel. It was crazy because one of the viewers was like, "Yo, Jay, you made it on," and I was like, "Who is this guy?" I do follow. There's a few YouTubers that I follow, but this particular YouTuber, I didn't know who he was until I checked out his channel, and I was like, "Oh shit, this guy's got." I'm talking about thousands of followers, and I made it on there. Yeah, I made it on there. So, yeah, just always protect your investments, and just keep that line of communication open when it comes to connecting with other expats in that city or wherever you're investing in. Is really important, because the last thing you want to happen is you're faced with a situation and now you don't got nobody to call. You don't have anybody to help you. God forbid something happens to me and I'm in a situation. I got a circle of expats and locals, for that matter, that I can call and say, "Yo, I got an issue. I'm gonna need you to come and help me." You know what I'm saying? It's very, very important. And I tell people, when it comes to hiring a lawyer, you make your lawyer your friend. My lawyer is my friend. I made sure, like, I'm not trying to buy him or anything like that, but you take care of me, I take care of you. It goes a long way. You know what I'm saying? Remember Long Island by your old stomping grounds. Got it. Okay. Shout out to my Long Islanders, man. Shout out to y'all. Long Island in the building, for real. But that's what it is, man. I'm about to end this live. I appreciate all the love and support. I know I've been going for a minute, guys, but work, life, sometimes it takes over us, and just trying to balance everything out, man. It's not easy. Y'all have no idea, man. And I say it all the time. I'm a single brother doing this by myself, building a house in Dominican Republic, maintaining lifestyle here in the States, bills up the ass, but I'm still managing, and I'm living proof for those of you guys who are trying to figure this shit out. It was one point in my life before I started this whole movement. I was sitting like asking myself, how the fuck am I gonna get this money to buy this, and how am I, and it has happened. It has manifested itself, and this is where I'm at now. So never say never, hard work, dedication, determination, and surrounding yourself around like-minded people will definitely get you there. All right. So with that being said, man, peace and love. I appreciate all the love and support. Y'all stay tuned for more. And till then, I'll be talking to y'all soon. Take care, guys.